a book. Inshallah, once we're done with this book, inshallah, we'll try to get ourselves go a bit further, inshallah. So the Musannif, he brings a chapter called Seeking Assistance, Al-Isti'anat. When we're talking about seeking assistance, specifically to this chapter, we're talking about seeking assistance when it comes to the bi'atibar al-hukm al-shar'i, with regards to the ibadah. But if I ask you to buy me a drink, we're not talking about that. That's worldly matters. We are talking about isti'ana, seeking assistance when it comes to your ibadah. Like for example, seeking assistance when you make wudu, seeking assistance when you make salah. These things, we're talking about that. Not seeking assistance outside the orbit of ibadah. Okay? So he categorized these isti'anat, seeking assistance, into 4 categories. Next fact, one of the Sarihun, one of those who explain the book, say there is more than 4. So the Musannif, he categorized it into mubah. Mubah means permissible, where it is permissible for a person to seek assistance with regards to ibadah. We'll come to an example. And then he say khilaful awla. Khilaful awla means undesirable. Makruhatun, makruh means disliked. And then he say, and sometimes to seek assistance it becomes compulsory. Are you with me? Sometimes to seek assistance it is permissible. Sometimes it is against what the Prophet ﷺ would like you to do. Sometimes it is disliked, and sometimes it is wajib. Now he gives you an example. فَالْمُبَاحَةُ. And as for assistance with regards to when it is permissible, what is the definition of permissible now again? Permissible means فِعْلُهُ وَتَرْكُهُ سَوَى. Doing it and leaving it out is the same. For example, eating. Eating is permissible. Are you with me? Eating now or not eating is the same. There's no reward or stuff like that on it. So he says that it is permissible to ask for water to be brought close. So for example, I'm making abdas, I'm making wudu. I'm sitting like this. The water is there. I ask someone, the bucket of water, bring it close by that I can use the water. That case, it is mubah. You can do it. It's permissible. Then he say number 2, it is undesirable to ask for water to be poured towards the one making wudu. Meaning, for example, I make wudu, I ask someone else to throw the water over me. It is undesirable. Meaning, if the person does it, it is against the sunnah. It's against the sunnah if he does it. Are you with me? If he asks someone for help, and if he leave it out, it is what the Prophet ﷺ used to always do. He never used to ask for assistance. Okay? But if he does it without asking assistance and he leave it out, is he getting reward? Undesirable means he don't get the reward for it. Okay? The difference between khilaful awla and makruh means if he leave it out, he gets reward. Okay? Khilaful awla means if he leave it out, he don't get reward. Okay? Makruh for someone else to wash the limbs. So we said khilaful awla, it is to pour the water over. Right? And makruh is you ask someone to wash the arms for you. It's makruh. Okay? When is it wajib for you to ask someone to make wudu for you? Alright? So the last category that you say is, sometimes it is wajib for you to ask assistance when it comes to your ibadah. And ibadah, wudu is ibadah, am I right? He says here, for a sick person who is incapable. When a person is sick, Obviously, salah is compulsory upon him, am I right? Salah is compulsory upon him, he still have to make salah. But he can't make wudu. So at that moment, because he needs wudu to make salah, so we'll ask one of his family members to make wudu for him. Okay? So they will pour water over him, they will wash his limbs, etc., etc. Is it understood? This is a very small chapter that he brings, and I don't know why he brings it here at this specific place. It's supposed to come in wudu. It's a more appropriate place to be in wudu. I don't know why he brings it here, but it comes here. Khair? So sometimes it is makruh, sometimes it is mubah, sometimes it is. Sometimes assistance is mandub. Sometimes it is mandub. Sometimes it's makruh, sometimes it's haram. Sometimes, so it does not bring the haram part, it does not bring the mandub part. So let me see. When is it mandub? Isti'ana will be wajib when it is for a marid. And sometimes it is, I'm trying to get the nash. So I will just quickly read for you. When is it mandub? When is it recommend? When is it sunnah to do it? For example, when you're in salah. So for example, when you're in salah, we did this masala. You're in salah, there's one saf, one person come behind. So he's going to be the only person in the second saf. When you drag someone out of the line, remember we discussed this masala? What are you doing? You are seeking assistance from him to stand with you in the second saf in order for your salah to be valid, or to fall out of the orbit of makruh, which some Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal say salah is batil. Any person who makes a new saf alone without any reason, Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, he goes, because of the dhahir of the hadith, this hadith that says la salata, there's no salah for a person who makes salah alone behind a saf. That's the hadith. So Imam Shafi'i then, they make interpretation on this hadith. Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, he says, just so as the hadith is, a person's salah is batil. But Imam Shafi'i is saying, if something like this happened, what should the person do? You go to the person, you make Allahu Akbar, Takbiratul Ihram, you drag the person to the back. Am I right? So what are you doing when you're dragging him to the back? You are asking him for assistance indirectly. You are getting assistance from him. In this case, the ulama say, it is mandub, which is sunnah, to drag him to ask assistance. Khair? Is it clear? Masala clear? Khair? And then he also says, and sometimes al-i'ana kal-i'anati ala al-fi'l haram. Sometimes i'ana becomes haram. When is that? When you assist a person upon doing something which is haram. Okay? When you assist a person on doing something which is haram, then i'ana becomes haram. Okay? So we have mubah, we have haram, we have makruh, we have wajib, we have mandub. Okay? So all these are the ahkam. When is assistance? When can a person do assistance? When it comes to the ibadah, or when he cannot do. Khair, is it clear? Now we go to our next chapter, which is called Kitabul Zakah. If I have to they say masal. Okay, so they call this, the reason why I say drag is because in Arabic you translate it as dragging. Mas'alatul jar. We call it mas'alatul jar. What does a person do? So for example, remember I mentioned, I think I have to talk on the mic. I mentioned when we did this, there is rulings with regards to this, am I right? You must first enter your salah, and the person that you're going to pull behind, he needs to know the ahkam. Am I right? Remember we did all these rulings. Imagine you come to a person, you drag him and say, los van my af. You know, it doesn't work like that. The person, you should know the person that you are going to, that he knows the masail. And you know that he will come to the back when you do that. These are all the shurud, the condition attached to this mas'alatul jar. Next effect, they mentioned 5. I'm just mentioning 2, 3 to you. And I think I mentioned last time 5 to you. So the person, so you come to the person, what we mean by direct is like that. Indication that he must come to the back. Not like this. It's called mas'alatul jar. Jar means to pull to the back. But if we have to explain it, it's called you tap him or you give him an indication that he needs to come to the back. Okay? Whatever movement he does, so he comes to the back, he comes to the back. This movement, we don't count it as movement that will break the salah, because this person is assisting a person to come out of the orbit of makruh, according to the Shafi'i madhab. Remember, according to the Shafi'i madhab, to create a new saf alone, it is makruh. Okay? So, to assist the person to come out of the orbit of makruh, it is mustahab, it is mandoob, it is recommendable. I'll give you another masala quickly. And sometimes to remove makruh, it is recommendable. I just want to give you the masala for you to understand. So for example, I'm making salah. My phone rings. Am I right? My phone is ringing. Ting, 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 ting. What happens to the people around me? The concentration of the people moves away. It goes with the phone. What is my duty as an individual? I have to take out my phone and put it off. Okay? So this is, you putting off your phone, you are removing the makruh for the other people, which is mustahab. Where do we get our dalil from? That you must remove something which is makruh in salah? Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, when he made salah with one sahabi, I cannot recall, is it Anas? I cannot recall, I think it's Anas. So he came to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, while the Prophet was making salah. So remember, where he stood on the left-hand side. He stood on the left-hand side. What Nabi Muhammad did? Took him here and moved him to the right side. Are you with me? From this hadith, our ulama says, I'm trying to get the wording. To remove something makruh, it is mustahab. Izalatul makruh fi salati mustahabun. Izala means to remove something which is makruh. Fi salati, in the salah, it is mustahab. Anything that takes the people's distraction away, you remove it from it. Okay? In actual fact, even if, say for example, anything that distracts you, my bag is there, and I look at my bag the whole time to ensure that no one is stealing my bag. Normally looking around, it is not reside, it's makruh to do, am I right? But when a person look there, I think we did this, am I right? When a person look there and he's guarding his luggage, that is not makruh. Why? Because obviously he shouldn't put himself in a situation like that. But if it happens like that, it's not makruh because he's protecting his belongings. Okay? So all these rulings, it comes from the hadith of the Prophet. So what you do is, just give him a light. But you need to start your salah. Why? What happens is, if it happens, it's an abd, it's a slave. Now, he makes salah. Now you drag him while you're not in salah, and something happens to him, then you are responsible. But if you are making the salah, it's a different case. Okay? That's why the ulama discuss it, and I don't think we can discuss it now in our dars. And inshallah, in the other books, inshallah, once we go a bit higher, then we will discuss it, inshallah. Okay. If we have to discuss zakah, this zakah will be in 4 things that we have to discuss. The first, there's no doubt that zakah is compulsory. Okay? In the ayats, وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ. Muhammad told Sahabi, let the take from the rich zakah and give it to the poor. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the different categories. Okay? So remember the time of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, when Nabi Muhammad passed away, people denied zakah. Abu Bakr said, I'm going to fight you guys, kill you. Zakah is part of Islam. Some of them thought that zakah is only for the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but no. Okay? So zakah is established. So if we talk about zakah, we talk about 4 things. On whom are zakah compulsory? Number 1. Number 2, number 1 is who zakah is compulsory upon. Number 2, on what items is zakah compulsory upon? Not all items is zakah compulsory upon. So number 1 is who zakah is compulsory upon. What items is zakah compulsory upon? To who can we give zakah? Number 3. And number 4, to who can't we give zakah? Okay? Do we have these 4 categories? Number 1, and I hope inshallah it's very short, because we're sitting with an entry-level book. However, the Musannif, the author of this book, he only mentioned one of these categories, which is the second category. He only mentioned things on which zakah can be paid upon. Okay? The items, the money, etc. But our discussion, inshallah, is the first discussion is on who is zakah compulsory. Number 1, 4 conditions. He must be a Muslim. The person must be a Muslim. It must be a hurr, a free person. Now I'll come back to explaining. The person must own. He must have the nisab mouth. He must have the nisab. We will discuss what is the nisab. Nisab means a threshold, a certain amount that the person needs to own for him to be eligible to give zakah. For example, if I have 10,000 on me, is that the amount of the nisab? No or yes. We will come to what is the amount of the nisab also within that category. Okay? So the first one is he must be a Muslim, he must be a hur, he must have nisab, and he must have ownership of the thing for 1 year. For how long? 1 lunar year. 1 Islamic year. Not Gregorian, a lunar year. So for example, you will see some people give it out in the month of Ramadan. You calculate what month you want to do it. So for example, you want to start calculating from the month of Muharram, no problem. So when we say a Muslim, we remove from the Muslim a kafir. A kafir, zakah is not compulsory upon him, even though he will be questioned about it in the year after. Same like salah. And there's ayat for this. ما سلككم في سقر قالوا لم نكن من المصلين. It will be asked to the kafir, ما سلككم, what has made you into saqar? Saqar is another name for Jahannam. What into you? قالوا لم نكن من المصلين. We were not of those who made salah. And the ulama make qiyas upon salah. Even zakah. So in this dunya, nope. The moment he accepts Islam, then he has to give zakah. Not immediately, but all the conditions apply to him afterwards. Al-Hur, he must be a free person. He must be a free person. A slave, is zakah compulsory upon him? Zakah cannot be compulsory upon a slave because he is owned. Everything he owned is owned by someone else, so he cannot give zakah. Are you with me? It's owned by his master. So from this too, Muslim and Hur, we understand that zakah is compulsory upon a young boy. You don't have to be baligh for zakah to be compulsory upon him. Even a safi, a stupid person, even a person that's not intelligent, even a mad person. Okay? So when we say Muslim Hur, a person who has the nisab means a specific amount that the person's money reaches, and on that specific amount, he needs to be the owner for it for one complete year. Let's say, for example, to understand this quickly, before we go into our book, a small boy, he has a savings account of 300,000 rand. And it is in the account for one Islamic lunar year, or 1 lunar year. Is zakah compulsory upon this boy? Yes. A mad person, he has so much amount of money. Is zakah compulsory upon him? Yes. My wife, she eats my money up, and her 300,000 rand is in the bank for 1 lunar year. Must she give zakah? Zakah is compulsory upon her. Okay? Do we understand the shurut, the conditions? Okay? Muslim, a free person. We understand why a free person? Because a abd, the slave, it doesn't make sense. How is it possible for him to give zakah? Because whatever he owns, in fact, you get 5 categories of slaves, no? We'll come to that inshallah. Okay? So that is understood? Okay? Now we go to our book, what the Musannif is talking about. The second category, what items or what money can zakah be given on? So, I hope we have enough time inshallah. الأموال التي تلزم فيها الزكاة 6 أنواع. The wealth upon which zakah is compulsory are 6 types. 6 types of wealth. The first one is an-na'amu, livestock. Livestock. When we say livestock, we're only talking about 3 things here. We're only talking about the 3 things. Camels, cows, sheep and goat. Sheep and goat go together. Okay? These 3 things. When a person have these 3 things, even though he does not sell it, it's not his business. Like for example, if you go to the rural areas, in Cape Town, this is normally not applicable. We go buy our meat, alhamdulillah, we just do our stuff. But if you go to the rural areas, you will find they have sheep, they have goats, they have cows, etc., etc. So when a person have these things, zakah become compulsory upon him with conditions. What's the conditions? The condition is that there must be nisab upon the goats and the cows and the camels. What is the nisab? We said this nisab is a specific amount that the person have to own. Okay? We will come now, inshallah, after this we will come to the with regards to money. But as we're talking about livestock, we're talking about a sheep, a camel, and a goat. He must have the nisab. Now for each animal, there's a different nisab. I don't have the Forgot to send the thing to help me. So let's look at the nisab of a camel. A camel, if a person own a camel from 5 camels to 9 camels, understand this, from 5 to 9 camels, then what is compulsory for him? 1 sheep to give. The equivalent to 1 sheep. Inshallah, I'll print out this, inshallah. This is basically the diagram of what they give for us. I don't know if you can see there, but it shows you for every a certain amount of camels, you will give a sheep or you will give something in place of that. So the nisab, the minimum nisab when it comes to camel is 5. Okay? When a person owns 5, then he will give something. But if he owns 1, 2, 3, 4, nope. You got it? This is not applicable to us, but we're just discussing. I'm not going to go into details, but just giving you the idea. So if he owns 5 camels, then 1 sheep is. If he owns 4, then no zakah is compulsory upon him. So the first one is he needs to have the nisab for it. Okay? The second condition is mururul hawl, that he should have the ownership of these camels for 1 complete year. Okay? You have to have the ownership of these camels for 1 complete year. So for example, a person owns 5 camels for 6 months or for 11 months, and then he slaughtered it, something happened. Must he pay zakah? Nope, it must have 1 complete lunar year. If someone owns 5 camels and they remain in his property for a complete lunar year, then zakah becomes due. If he only owned them for a few months, then sold them, the condition of a complete year has not been fulfilled. So that means zakah is not compulsory upon him. Okay? So it must be. So what does it mean, a complete year? It means a hijri. It must be a hijri year, not Gregorian. So if the zakah year begins at the 1st of Muharram, the year completes when the corresponding date of the next year arrives. Okay? So the next year. Number 3, it must be, the animal must be grazing freely on permissible open grazing land. So if a land is eating normal, by the moment I feed him something, then zakah doesn't be compulsory upon me. If I feed him most of it from my money, because now I'm putting in stuff, I'm putting my money in. But if it's open land, he just eat on the open, even though I own the land, but he's just eating, grazing on the normal, then it's compulsory. So these 3 conditions. But if I feed him certain stuff to feed, then the whole year, then nope. Okay? So just a small, the summary of it, the condition is, it must have a nisab, number 1. Number 2, it must have a whole complete year. Number 3, it must graze on permissible grazing land. Okay? So for each animal, you will have a different amount of nisab. I just want to quickly go into it quickly, just the minimum. I will give the minimum. As for a cow, as for a camel, the nisab starts at 5. As for a cow, the nisab starts at 30. So you must have 30 cows for 1 year, and it has to graze on normal free land. And for goats and sheep, it must be 40. Okay? So if a person have 29 cows and 39 sheep, then zakah is not compulsory upon him. It must reach that specific amount stipulated in hadith and stipulated in these things. Is it clear? Khair? Just to read quickly. I'll just go into quickly. For camels, 5 to 9, 1 sheep. 10 to 14, 2 sheep. 15 to 19, 3 sheep. 20 to 24, 4 sheep. 25 to 35, bintu mahad. That's just now a different camel. Then 30, and so forth and so forth. Everything, where do we get the numbers? Stipulated in the hadith. Okay? For cows, 1 to 29, nothing. 30 to 39, 1, etc., etc., etc. Sheep, 1 to 39, nothing. 40 to 120, 1 goat. Haji? 121 to 200, 2 sheep. 201 to 300, 3, etc., etc. Inshallah, if I print it out, I will give a copy, inshallah, of this. Khair? Is the understood with regards to livestock? 3 conditions, nisab, hawl, and now we go to gold and silver. When we say gold and silver, we're talking about money. Talking about money. Should we stop here, inshallah? No. Stop here? Khair? I thought the chapter is going to go quick. Can we do this gold quickly, finish, inshallah? Because I think this is more with regards to ourselves. Khair? So gold and silver, this is the second category. So gold and silver replace our money now. I think in the olden days, when they used to make money, I don't know if it's still the same. The gold should be equivalent to the money that the country have. Is it still the same? Not the same anymore. But that was the idea of paper money. Paper money should be equivalent to the gold. That was the initial idea of paper money. I don't know if in the olden ideas, so the paper money, if you have a 50 rand, it's equivalent to having a 50 rand amount of gold, basically. Because the means only with gold in your own, so on, etc., etc., etc. So our paper money replaces the gold and the silver, but now currently that's not the case. But still in fiqh, it replaces it. All right? Okay. So if we look at gold and silver, zakah on gold and silver becomes compulsory when there are certain conditions found. Okay? The first condition, it must reach, we hear the word already, it must reach the amount which is nisab. I went to go check the equivalent to the nisab in our rand. The nisab, according to gold, it is called 20 mithqal. For gold, it is 20 mithqal. For silver, it is 200 dirhams. How much? 200 dirhams. Now, let's say we converted the 20 mithqal. I hope I'm going slow. Let's say we converted 20 mithqal. It is equivalent to 85 grams of gold. How much? 85 grams of gold. And if we have to convert 200 dirhams into gold in our time, we will say it is 595 grams of silver. Now let's say, so I went to, in actual fact, MJC. I went to go check on the internet in MJC what is the current amount of gold and silver, the nisab. I first went to go check on Islamic Relief, listed by them on the 16th of July. The gold nisab is 185 186,000. Are you with me? 100,086 something rand. Okay? And then the silver is 19,000 rand. Okay. You got it? So, gold, 186,000. Silver, rounded off, 19,000. Okay? That's the nisab. So if your money, let's say for example, you have a 20,000 laying at home or in your bank, that's the nisab already. Okay? So there's one condition already. The second condition, it must be a complete lunar year. So that money is laying there for 1 year. It must remain in your ownership for the whole year, for that period. Okay? Then, when you have all these three conditions, nisab, one complete year, you have the owner. So nisab, we said 180 something thousand, and the gold, and we said the silver is 19,000. If it reaches that, and it stays for 1 year, and you're the owner of that money, then if you start from this Ramadan, and then the first of this Ramadan, then the next year, the first of Ramadan, you still have that amount. What happens is, you have to give zakah on that money. Khair? How much must we pay? How much must we pay? Zakatuhuma rub'ul ushri. It is a quarter of a tenth. What's a quarter of a tenth? 2.5%. 2.5%. So let's make an example. Very little. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. So if I have a 20,000, how much is that? 4? Ya Rabbi Salih. That's so little. Allahu Akbar. Allah does it for us a lot. It's so little. It's 2.5. You know? It's you take 9, you make something into 10 pieces, you take 9 of that piece, and then of the one piece you still take something, the most of it, and then you give the 2 point something for the other person. Little. Right? So I have something, I break it up into 10, I move away 9, I have now 1. And then that same one, I break into 10. And then how much of that 10? 4. All right? Very little. No, you break it into 10. You break the last one into 10 also. Then 4, basically. Because that's a quarter. Am I right? No, less than 4, basically. 2 point something. So it's very little that you have to give the other person. Okay? So you own 40 grand. How much must you give? The most you have to give is 1,000 rand. The most. If you have to calculate, because we said 20 is approximately 500. It's rounded off 500. So it's very little that Allah wants you to give. And the whole objective is that you give to assist the other person. Okay? Now let's say a person have gold jewelry. A female have gold. Because we're talking about gold now, am I right? The female have bracelets, it's gold. If it is for her personal usage, there is no zakah upon it. Okay? But if she keeps it there in the safe and she never use it, and it's almost like a collection, then there will be zakah upon it. Khair? Dis was iemand die vir die jewelry koop inshallah. Ek sê met terrein inshallah. Khair inshallah. So there's a difference between jewelry that a person have for store to, like if the Kruger range is not for wearing unless the person put it on the chain and stuff like that. Then it's a different. But if you're buying it for something else, then you have to give zakah upon it. Right? Okay. I think we naktafi bihada inshallah. We will stop by this. And there's more explanations with regards to the other categories. And hopefully we will finish zakah. I thought we're going to just touch on it little by little. But I think we need to go into small details inshallah. Okay? Any questions before we conclude? Yes. In silver and gold, yes. He will go with the silver, inshallah. He'll go with the silver. Yes. So, yeah. So you can take out 20,000. Let's say, for example, 20,000. Because 20,000 is the lowest of the two, am I right? One, let's say we run it off to one is 200,000, one is 20,000. So that we take from 20,000, inshallah. Any other questions? May Allah give us the ability, inshallah. If we have money, we give out, inshallah. And we will learn on who can we give. Can I give my father? People always ask, can I give my uncle? Yes, it's better to give your uncle, alhamdulillah. Subhanallah bihamdihi, subhanaka Allahumma bihamdika, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين.